Salt, or sodium chloride, is a natural compound. We encounter salt throughout our lives. It's not just in our food and drinks, but also in our tears. This video will debunk some common myths about salt and help you separate fact from fiction. Myth 1. Salt is the white death, and we should give it up completely. Excess salt in our bodies can cause problems with our kidneys, vessels, and heart. It's the excess that is harmful. Salt is necessary for our bodies in reasonable amounts. Sodium is used by the body to maintain blood pressure, fluid balance, and normal muscle and nerve function. Completely avoiding salt will bring just as many problems as an overabundance of it, so we shouldn't go to extremes. Myth 2. Pink sea salt is more beneficial than regular salt. No matter how salt is obtained, it's still salt, so we must always control the amount consumed. The claim that these salts contain vitamins and minerals is unsubstantiated because their content is so small that they remain practically unnoticed by our bodies. For example, sea salt contains calcium, potassium, and magnesium, of which 100 grams has a high concentration. However, if we consider that no more than 5 grams of salt should be consumed daily, then these minerals will not amount to anything at all. Regarding the iodine content, for which many praise sea salt, it completely disappears over time as well. Myth 3. We eat salty food because our bodies demand it. The desire to consume salty foods is strictly an acquired taste. Our body requires only 3-5 grams of salt per day, and we obtain this amount in regular, not overly salty, food, as sodium is present practically everywhere, just in different quantities. If you feel the need to constantly add more salt because your food seems bland, it's not a bodily demand, but rather an issue with your taste receptors. The more often you eat salty foods, the less sensitive your taste buds become. This results in the desire for more and more salt, as what was once considered salty enough no longer satisfies your cravings. If a dish to which you've added a considerable amount of salt seems bland to you, try conducting an experiment. Completely abstain from adding any additional salt for 1 week, and then try the dish again with some added salt. You probably won't be able to finish it because it will taste so salty. Myth 4. High salt content in food is always noticeable on the palate. We can confidently say no and no again. It's well known that salt is added to practically all processed products from bread to chocolate. Generally, it's done in small quantities combined with other ingredients which mask the salty taste. But these seemingly non-salty foods together create a daily salt intake several times higher than the recommended amount. Try to cook as much as you can yourself using simple ingredients so that you're sure about what you're eating. It's best to avoid store-bought sauces. Their sodium content is simply terrifying. Myth 5. Problems caused by an excess of salt are always noticeable. The main mistake that all humans make is believing that if something was wrong with me, I would have noticed it. However, almost all problems, not just those resulting from consuming too much salt, do not become apparent until the situation becomes critical. If you regularly overeat salty foods over many years, then noticeable symptoms will only be thirst and swelling. Most people consider these to be normal manifestations of everyday life. Yet according to studies conducted by Sydney University, more than 50% of people with chronic high blood pressure do not even suspect it. Therefore, if you love eating salty food and don't deny yourself this pleasure, it's important to exercise caution because the consequences could appear after 5 years or even 10 years later, and they will be quite serious. Our channel is dedicated to those interesting and incredible facts and events that we sometimes do not notice in our daily lives. We are confident that our content will inspire you, as well as entertain and inform you. So, join us.